So give us just a moment, and then we will get started with our service. I feel like my R's were really hard there. It's not pirate service, despite what it just sounded like. So I'm really grateful to be on our same level bima with Ted Bressler. He is going to be helping with services. He is really the man in charge today, and I'm just kind of helping out on the side. And I'm really grateful for this partnership. So we will continue to be in partnership and in community together with words of nigun to get us set for the Shabbat spirit. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. It is our pleasure to welcome Janine Charlton to light the Shabbat candles. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We're on page 138.
Lecha Dodi Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela, Lechadodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, V'shem u'tiferet u'lilah, Lechadodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela, Lechadodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela, Likrat Shabbat, Reuven elcha, Ki meor ha'beracha, Merosh mikem mesucha, so ma'aseh b'machshava tchila, Lechadodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela, Lechadodi, Likrat kala, Penei Shabbat, Mekabela.
Please rise in all the ways you're able.
Ohi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha uv'tzahala, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala, Lechadodi, Likrat kala,
Penei Shabbat, Mekabela, Lechadodi,
Likrat kala,
Penei Shabbat, Mekabela. Please be seated. We are on page 142 with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We are on page 145.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways.
We continue with the Baruch Hu on page 146. Please rise in the ways you're able. Please be seated. We're on the next page. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
I found my joy. She wasn't hiding, she was waiting for the moment to lean forward, to come from the middle of my chest, open up my throat, and laugh without holding back.
We are on page 158 with the words of Mi Chamocha.
Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch atah, atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah, atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim, shalom. Ve'al Yerushalayim, ve'al kol amo. Ve'al Yerushalayim, shalom. Baruch atah, atah Adonai haborei sukat shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
This Reuben Israel, et Shabbat. oti leolam,
oti leolam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם בריתותם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו
בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם בריתותם.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש,
שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We join together with the tefillah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Please rise. We are on page 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Reah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chazdei Avot V'imachot, Umevigu Aliv Nevnehem, Leman Shemo B'Yahaba, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Be'ezras Sarah, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Ata Rav LaHoshia, Mashiv HaRuach V'Merid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. We are on page 178 for the words of Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata
Melech Adon,
Lecho HaShalom. Ki ata Melech Adon, Please take a moment for your own silent prayer. Say shalom, shalom, imrama, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'imru amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom, imrama. Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'imru amen. Uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, amen. Say shalom, shalom, imrama, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Israel, ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Israel, we are lucky this evening to hear words of Torah from Ted Bressler, our service leader extraordinaire, and so I'm so glad that we'll be able to hear these words on our Torah portion this week.
The Torah portion, Pekudei, describes in detail the records of the tabernacle, the place where God could be serviced tangibly by the community. The sanctuary was said to be part of God's all-encompassing holiness, It was God's throne and traceable to the creation of the world itself. There are great details in this Torah portion as to the quantity of gold, silver, and copper used. There are considerable details as to the vestments, the breastplate and robe for the ephod, the tunics, and the holy diadem. All the work had been done by the Israelites. In Gunter Plaut's The Torah, a Modern Commentary, the author states, quote, "It is said that the erection of the tabernacle ended Israel's redemption from the exile in Egypt," page 690. The erection of the tabernacle is commanded by God in Exodus 25, verses 8 and 9. "And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them, exactly as I show you, the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all its furnishings, so shall you make it." Why did God need a tabernacle? To assure that God dwell among the people. Is not God omnipresent in the world? Is it necessary to see some physical structure built by humans for God to assure the awareness of the deity among the people? One of the Chabad commentators said regarding this portion, quote, "Said God to me, I created wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and in these creations my mind dwells. I created love, justice, and compassion, and in these my character resides. I created beauty, splendor, and majesty, and in these I invest my personality. But none of these are my home, and more than the office at which you work or the theater at which you are entertained is yours. So I created physical matter, the most undivine thing I could conceive of, so that I should have a place in which there are no roles for me to play and no characteristics for me to project, only my will to fulfill. When you take your gold, your materials excesses, your silver, your stolid middle-class wealth, and your copper, your pauper subsistence pennies, and use them to fashion a reality that conforms to my will, you have made me at home in my world. In my opinion, the Torah requires a physical presence of a holy edifice to remind the people that God is always in their presence. A physical site is needed for the people to gather for the common purpose of worshiping God. In ancient times, the Jews had the temple in Jerusalem as the site of God's physical presence on earth. But the temple of ancient days is no longer with us, and our people are dispersed to the many lands of the earth. Today we have built synagogues in thousands of sites on the earth. We attend these synagogues so that we may be physically aware that God dwells among us, and God makes God's presence known to us by dwelling among us in the holy places.
Can you hear its own? May this be God's will. To which we say, Amen. With these words of Torah in our hearts and on our minds, we think of those who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of soul. If you are thinking of someone who's in need of healing, I encourage you to pause a moment, to hold their names in your heart, to type them in our chat, or to say their name out loud to, if you're on Zoom, to the person next to you, or if you're in this space, to say their name out loud for us to hear.
Suzanne Lowe, a brain tumor.
We also include all those in Ukraine who are in need of healing from all that war brings. I saw that Cheryl also mentioned the children in Ukraine. So we hold them in our hearts and in our prayers for healing. We are on page 371. We continue with the words of Aleinu on page 586. Please rise in all the ways you are able.
Aleinu l'shabeach v'yadon hakol, latekenu al yotzer b'reshit,
Shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kamishvachot ha'adama, shelo samcholkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam.
V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'oretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shamo echad.
Please be seated. We're on page 595.
There are stars up above, so far away, we can only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember.
This evening, we remember congregants and family members who have been called to their eternal rest in recent days. Please rise as your your loved one's name is read. Toby Lila Gerhart, mother of Leslie Strauss. We are in the period of Shloshim, 30 days since the burial of the following individuals: Harvey Cohen, father of James Cohen; And on this Shabbat, we remember the yard sites of the following people: Morton Dobro, father of Bani Manina; Agdas Asanipur, sister of Bahya Asanipur; Dora Elman, grandmother of Steve Elman; Saadia Guterman, father of Daniel Guterman; Sarah Lewis, mother of Karen Bressler; Henry Minash, brother of Carl Minash. We now invite all who are in their first year of mourning to rise at this time. And now we rise as a community with our mourners for the Mourners Kaddish on page 598.
Please join me in reciting the Kaddish. It Gadol v'it Kadash me Rabbah, v'almadi v'rachirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chay dechol beit Yisrael, v'agalah b'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehesh me Rabbah mavarach, le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudashah brichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
Amen. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing, to which we say, Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. It's my pleasure to invite up our trustee president, Rick Brodzinski, to share the good news on what is going on in our community.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
The humanitarian crisis in Ukraine continues to worsen, and we all pray for a quick end to the hostilities. Our Social Action Committee has provided links to organizations well prepared to support the refugees fleeing their country and or to send needed medical supplies into the Ukraine. Links can be found on the Social Action webpage. Please consider a donation. There's still one more stop on the virtual tour of Israel being sponsored. Well, actually, there are two, this weekend and next weekend. There are still two more stops on the virtual tour, this Sunday and next Sunday at 1:30. Please see our virtual tour of Israel event page for details, pricing, and registration. Purim is coming.
Woohoo!
Get ready for 3 fun celebrations coming up. On Wednesday, March 16th, join us for 7:30 p.m. for Meshugana Margarita Megillah. What better way to start off Purim than hearing the story of Esther with a tasty margarita in hand and 3 cornered chips dipped in salsa. Both virgin and alcoholic beverages will be available during this celebration. Registration will open next week. There's a suggested donation of $5 per person for those partaking in the refreshments. The Purim Fund continues on Friday, March 18th at 6:30 p.m. with our special family-friendly Topsy-Turvy Shabbat and Spiel. This year's spiel is called #TBT at TBT and will be dedicated both to Purim and to our 60th anniversary. Don't forget your costume. There is no better way to finish celebrating Purim than with a story and making Salach Manot gift baskets. Join us for our 3rd installment of Soulful Story Time on Sunday, March 20th at 11:30. All those young of age or young of heart are invited. Save the date to join us virtually on Thursday, March 24th at 6:30 for the third program in our What You Didn't Learn in Religious School series. Student Rabbi Ari will lead Finding Wow in the Now, a blessing writing workshop that is open to all ages. See the weekly for more details and registration information. Still looking for more people to learn how to use our new AV equipment and to operate it at services. If interested, please contact me. Thank you to Marla Zero and Gigi Dornfest for representing the worship committee this evening. Thanks to Mara for slide sharing, and a big thanks to Ted for co-leading the services this evening. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And as always, also thank you to Rick for all that he does for our community. We continue with family blessings. Family is always important, but as we are in the month of Adar, which is a time of joy, we think of the joyous moments that we have with our loved ones, and we wish on our loved ones more times of joy. So let's reach out either physically or in our hearts to our loved ones, and we say, may God bless you and keep you. May God shine God's face upon you and be gracious to you. May God's face turn to you and grant you peace. To which we all say, Amen. Amen. We now continue with Kiddush. For our friends at home, if you want to quickly grab your sweet beverage, feel free to do so. And we are on page 123 for the words of Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehila lemikrae kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim. Ki banu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, Yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. And a blessing for Samchala. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. This evening we are going to close with Adon Olam, and Ted is going to be sharing a new melody with us. It's going to be a little bit of a call and response, but I'm excited for us to sing this.
Okay, now the way this is going to be done, there are 5 verses to Adon Olam, and after each verse we sing a chorus. And the chorus is 4 lines long, but the way the chorus is sung, I sing the first part of the first line and you repeat the same melody. So let's see how this goes. Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yetzir Nivra.
Yetzir Nivra.
Okay, here we go.
We're on page 625.
Page 625. Adon Olam Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol
B'terem Kol,
Yetzir Nivra,
Yetzir Nivra.
Ve'acharei kichlot hakol, levado yimloch no ra, v'hu haya v'hu hoveh, v'hu yeh b'tifara, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yetzir Nivra,
Yetzir Nivra.
Vehu echad v'ein sheni, laham shilo lehachbira, b'li reshit b'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yetzir Nivra,
Yetzir Nivra.
Vehu eli v'chai goali, v'tzurchav li b'yetzara, v'hu nisi umanos li, menat kosi b'yom ekra, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yetzir Nivra,
Yetzir Nivra.
B'yado of Kidruchi, V'yerishan v'yaira, V'imruchi gaviati, Adonai li v'lo ira, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yetzir Nivra.
Yetzir Nivra. That was awesome. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. May you have a jazzy Shabbat, just like our Adon Olam.